Okay, so here we are with the footage from the rap battle this weekend. And we're in Final Cut Pro. We're about to color grade this thing. So this is a picture, a frame I've just picked out here. We got Yazoo about to do his thing. And background here, Pressure Barbershop. Looking cool. But that is a log image, which is what we do in the industry. That's why it's flat looking. That's why there's no contrast or saturation. It's not popping. That's no problem. That's actually what we want. That's going to give us a lot more room, a lot more information in those colors and stuff to play with that, to stretch that contrast to where we want it, stretch those colors where we want it. This is exactly where you want to start. So, first thing we're going to do is get this from a log image to something like a Rec 709 or BT 2020, which is just a fancy term for something that looks right. It's got the right amount of color and contrast and saturation. It looks basically like it did when we were there. So first we're going to start with our exposure and the blacks, the shadows here. We pull them down, and if you see over here, it's not going to let me stretch it up. This is called a waveform, and we go left to right. We can see how bright things are and stuff. These spikes here, that's this light here, and these two spikes are these two lights, and they clipped. They're fine. That's highlights. That's what that flat part on the top of the spikes means. It just clipped a little bit, but so we want to keep all our color information between 0 and black, 0 on black. So we're going to pull that down there to about 0. And then 100 in the highlights. Those lights, they can be blown out a little bit. That's fine. We can take them a little over. And something like that. Saturation, pull it down a little in the shadows, pump it up just a little in the highlights, and then add a little globally. Maybe something like 35%. Okay. Now we're at about Rec 709. Something like that right there. From that. Now that's color correcting. Now what we're gonna do is color grading. I want a custom LUT. Probably hear my dad working in the background in the next room, but we're gonna throw a custom LUT on there, and I have something I'm going to. It's a Rec 709 standard Hoolandite. Add some contrast, pushes the blues towards teal, the reds towards orange, puts maybe a little blue in the shadows. So that's where we're at now. Boom. And that's most of where I want to be. That's mostly there. You can also adjust the intensity if we want. I like that. Next, I put up some screenshots of a few sample color grades I did, and you guys liked it when I used this combat LUT, which kind of pulls out some saturation and makes it a little grittier looking. I don't want to use too much of it, but let's play around with it. 25%. Change the color cast. I think about there maybe. Protect skin. Okay. I don't know. Put it about 50. Shadows. Say like 75. Pretty close. Okay. Now, let's take it to the next level. Play with these skin tones. Drop a draw mask on here. I'm going to trace out Yazun's face. And over here, this shows me my colors. This right here is called the bloodline, and that's where we want our skin to be at. Looks like it's pretty close, actually. Turn the saturation up on it. Pick out that color specifically and turn up the saturation. Now, pick out the color there. We can pull it towards yellow, pull it towards red. You see how over here on the wheel, that line there is moving from side to side. The more saturated it is, the more stretched this way it'll be. And if it's pointing towards yellow, red, magenta, blue, cyan, or green, we need it right there on the bloodline. No matter what race you are, your skin is going to fall on that line. So it's pretty close already. Right about there. So, take the draw mask off. We mostly added a little saturation, and we might have added a little too much. So let's get rid of this draw mask. We don't need that anymore. Let's go back into here. Pull the saturation back down till it looks... See, here's where it was. I'm thinking right about there, maybe. Okay, now I wouldn't mind let's see. I wouldn't mind if it was a little more saturated all over like that. And let's just pull out a little magenta, not enough to make it green, but right about like that maybe. How's that look? Mute it. Mute it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So, here's our Rec 709. Here's our color grade. Not bad, not bad. I think I'm digging it. And that's about all there is to that. He's looking a little too saturated in the skin. Now that he's moved into a little bit less light, so let's go back into that saturation, pull it down a little. Let's go into our color board, exposure. Gonna bump up those midtones a little bit. We can lift the blacks. Take it to about there. Highlights. I boost them a little bit to about there. Put the midtones back at 0. Right. It's looking pretty good, right? Let's see. So here's our log image. That's our Rec 709 image. That is our color graded image. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Oh, let's throw a little bit of noise reduction on there. Low sharpness amount, just very low. Just sharpen it up a little. Beautiful. I love it. So that's it. Knock the color grading out in probably 10 minutes or less, but that's the whole look. So there it is, color grading the rap battles. With all due respect, for those who you don't like it, you know, with all due respect, fuck you. And we're out. But